Okay, so my name's Peter. I'm an occupational therapist. I work at MSWA, which is a provider of services for people with a neurological condition. I work in the employment support team, so my role is to help people to keep working.
My name is Sarah. I am the occupational therapy service delivery lead. So we work directly with our clients, supporting them in all areas of community and home access and just everyday life. We support clients with MS, Parkinson's, stroke, ABI, and then other more niche neurological conditions.
I've been using MEMORehab in a couple of different ways. So we've been normally using it in a group session on an online platform.
MEMORehab being a video conferencing or a completely online platform does make that accessibility of the program much easier compared to some other programs. Where we live, we've got a really large population of people that live in rural and remote locations, which it can be really hard for them to access this same kind of support in person. So we've had quite a few people that live regional and remote accessing this program and able to join, which is great. And we can even potentially reach out to other states.
Yeah, and I think too, sometimes people may be going on holidays or going away for work where they've actually had to travel interstate or internationally, and they've still been able to access through those times as well.
One of our most dedicated clients, I'd say, went on a holiday to Italy and took her computer with her and was tuning in from Italian cafes to still, make sure she was getting her memo sessions in, which was great.
Yeah, so we tend to have between 4 and 6 people in the group run sessions, which is good, because if some people can't attend that particular day, they can watch a recording and catch up. It helps with having more than just 1 or 2 people, because you get the input from the other people in the group, which is the real benefit of having a group program like this.
When we run MEMOrehab groups, we tend to co-facilitate. So we aim to have 2 to 3 consistent occupational therapists running it right the way across the 6 weeks. What that means for us and for our clients is that you get the benefit of obviously the MEMOrehab program, but also the benefit of having 3 occupational therapists with varying experience in different areas of cognition. We've also run it with students as well. It's a really good opportunity for students to get a nice structured feel of group environments.
We tend to run that in the morning from 9 till 10. We find that people with a neurological condition have a lot of fatigue. We've had like a mix of, quite an even mix of male and female participants, which is really good because you get different perspectives.
Memo also being at a group setting is a really good aspect as well in terms of cognitive therapies. Sometimes I know clients can feel very isolated when they're just set a series of activities to complete completely by themselves, or if they're doing a standalone online program that is just them completing it. Whereas having that connectedness to a group in Memo has been really, really great. And we've seen some really lovely relationships form over the course of the group, people learning all kinds of tips and tricks from each other, and just having that sense of, someone else is in this with me and I'm not the only person that is experiencing these things. So I think that is a really, really beneficial aspect.
Another really lovely part of the group sessions is actually the interaction before we start the program. So we've got everybody on a platform and they're interacting with each other, which is lovely. So sometimes we can actually step back from that and just let those interactions happen naturally with people. And that is really lovely to see, because it's people helping each other.
And often clients are talking about, how did you go with that strategy last week? I went to this receptionist that I never remember the name and I could remember it. And you can see the feedback and the excitement in the group. So we've definitely had some hesitation, particularly with some of the older clients who are maybe just not as used to using, especially video conferencing or online only options. But it's been really wonderful because the Memo platform is actually very easy to use. So when we have set it up with clients, usually we'll provide them a little bit more support in that orientation or initial first kind of week. And then onwards, it is so easy to use. We've had no issues with any of our clients ongoing in accessing the program once they're used to it. So that's great.
I've also run that on a one-to-one basis as well, where I individually tailor that, usually for people that are working. So I can actually then put the direct issues that they're having at work and tailor that specifically using the program. It's a good way to actually formulate cognitive rehab therapy and tailor it to the issues that they might be having in the workplace.
And one of my clients that I did run the program with one-on-one, we actually completely slowed down the program. So we didn't run it over 6 weeks, we ran it over a few months actually. And the computer-based exercises was something that we progressively worked through those levels. But it was so satisfactory when she was so satisfied and so happy when she could get to some of those later levels, even though it was a bit of a slower process for her. But that just shows how we could kind of tailor it to her needs. So I think whilst Memo as an overall program is super applicable to different settings, I do believe that clinicians can further then tailor it specific to their setting to make it even more beneficial for their clients.
I don't feel the program would be appropriate for people that have more than moderate to severe cognition issues.
Yeah, and there are some aspects, like someone needs to be able to pay a base level of attention. Someone needs to be, oriented to where they are. Some of those base cognitive functions absolutely need to be there for this to be of any benefit to the clients.
As well as mental health as well. I think people that are maybe in severe difficulties with their mental health, this may not be appropriate as well. One of the really beneficial parts of the program is that the program can provide us with information if people have completed the homework. And that's really helpful for us to be able to go directly to the client and say, what's the reason? It could be that they've been busy and they haven't had time to do that, or they may not be motivated, or they're actually struggling with it. So having that ability from the program to show if people have completed the homework is really beneficial.
I think having the homework integrated with the sessions as well, the homework tasks, kind of ensures that clients have to practice those strategies in a way. And that can often be the really tricky translation piece when you're implementing things. So it straight away gets them using strategies in everyday life, which people have found helpful. The other thing is these activities, when you're running them, the way that they're set in the program and the way that we try and run it is to make these activities fun, because we really believe that if you're having fun and if something's interesting, it's going to stick in your brain much better than just, a standard worksheet or something that's not as engaging to clients. Like I mentioned before, because it is such an engaging program, it's often something that clients want to complete. Whereas sometimes, depending on, physical handout worksheets, they can be a little bit less exciting. And the other aspect that I think is quite different from some other computer-based programs is that Memo is very function-based. It's very everyday life activity focused. And so clients can straight away see, okay, I'm learning how to remember people's names in conversation. That directly applies to my life. Versus sometimes some computer-based activities are more around games, which can be a little bit hard to then apply to clients' everyday life, or for clients to kind of see that direct translatability into their life as well. And being occupational therapists, we're trained to look at everyday life and activities of daily living. And so being able to see that direct translatability and that impact on everyday life tasks is really huge to us. The computer-based exercises in MEMORehab are a great part of the program, and clients find them quite helpful and sometimes quite challenging to complete, especially when you're getting to the later levels in each of the computer-based exercises. They are really tricky and really challenging. And so we also are constantly reminding clients that if something is tricky, it means that you are exercising your brain.
I think the other thing with the computer-based exercises is that people have the opportunity to go back and actually practice them again later. So they have access to the program for the period afterwards. One of the other benefits that I found compared to when I've just done one-on-one cognition therapy with people has been that the structure of the cognition program, it actually puts it into a nice format. So what we would just do on a one-to-one and ad hoc sort of basis, this gives us a really lovely structure where it starts off with those real basic areas of cognition like your attention, and then sort of builds that up. I had a lovely feedback from a lady down the track as well. So she actually contacted us like a couple of months post the program to say, I've still been using the strategies that I learned in MEMORehab, and I use them every day. And I've actually shared those strategies with my friends as well when it's helping them. So I think that was lovely feedback to get that.